What's up, guys? Today we are talking hot takes. So I have some market prepping to do. So I thought I would come in here and do something a little bit different. As I crochet, I like to watch other people do things, and as they do things, and I'm like, I don't do that. I started thinking maybe I should make a video about the hot takes. That for my hot takes. Let me know in the comments what your crafty, they don't have to be crochet, their crafty hot take is. If you agree with mine or not. No judgment. We're just having fun. If you also like to do your craft, while you watch these kinds of videos, I am making Pop-Tarts. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you know how difficult this is for me. So, practice makes better. I'm going to say better because there's no way perfect is anywhere in my vocabulary. So, hot takes, grab your crafts, grab a snack, a drink, whatever you want to do, and we'll get started. So, my first hot take. Number one, for me, I don't do online or custom orders at all. The amount of stress that comes along with trying to do a custom order. I have received requests for some custom orders, and it's like the stress from just you asking me to do a custom order, oh my gosh, because what if I make it and you don't like it, or it's not what you had envisioned? Then I have to deal with that. Also, once you start getting it into like online orders, like you either do online orders or you do markets. I don't see a way to do both, because once you start doing, I was watching one of my favorite crochet ladies, Safari by Stitches, I'll tag her. She is amazing and I love her, but she makes cats. She makes custom cats from her page, and she made a bunch of videos where it was only cats, and don't get me wrong, she had a great time and she loved every minute of it, but for me, my anxiety was like, all you're making is cats. I get bored if I make the same body type for too long, and that's saying a lot because a lot of my little characters are in the same body. So when I go into con prep for GalaxyCon at the end of the month, it's gonna be I'm gonna have to find a way not to be so bored. I'm sorry, I have my row counter over here for my Pop-Tart. And I lost track of what I was saying. I'm trying to do both at the same time. Let me think. Yeah. What was I saying? I don't want to be just making the same things over and over and over and over and over. I like the freedom of being able to just make whatever I want. And if it sells, it sells. Great. It'll sell eventually. Somebody will come to my booth and be like, oh, that's perfect. And so I just have to wait for the right buyer. I haven't had anything in my stock that would tell me otherwise, that I'm doing it differently. But that for me is a big hot take, because I can't do custom. I can't do online orders, and I just can't. I like to be able to make, I'm making the Pop-Tarts, and I make the frogs and the chickens that everybody likes, but I make them at my own time, at my own speed, at my own, when I want. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm gonna ramble, and I apologize ahead of time. Number 2, I don't mind sewing. I'm sorry, I have my list. So if I keep looking down, well, if I'm looking down, I'm trying to find my spot. I don't mind sewing. I don't mind sewing pieces together. Sometimes a piece is no-sew, and I change it so that it becomes it has pieces. Like I'll alter it a little bit because I think that, oh, this might look better if I was to sew the head on differently or sew the arm on differently instead of being part of it. Not always, but so I don't mind sewing. If you don't like sewing, that's fine. I don't mind it. Now, if there's a million pieces that have to be sewn on, it's not my favorite thing to do. I will say, if I'm making a non-amigurumi project, weaving in ends is a totally different thing because I can't. So right now I'm working on the temperature blanket, and as of this moment, I'm way far behind because life got busy and I never got a chance to go pick it up. But I always write down the temperature for the day so I can go back to it. But right now, the back looks like a disaster because I didn't weave in any of the ends. So sewing and weaving in ends are two totally different things, two totally different problems. Like I said, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Number 3, I have messed these up. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, so because I make amigurumi style plushies, I always start with a magic ring. And I know a lot of people say this, but I also see a lot of people not understand. And I never found the magic ring hard. And I know it's one of those things, it's either you do or you don't, but I don't like the way the chain 2 and then go into the loop looks. And so I learned how to do the magic ring, but I started from pretty much scratch, and I was watching YouTube videos and learning how to do things. I was looking at it from a different perspective, I think. So I just found the YouTube video that made sense for me to learn how to do it, because when I realized that amigurumi is what I wanted to make, and people are like, magic ring, magic ring, magic ring, I was like, well, I gotta figure out how to do this magic ring. So I think you just have to find the right person to teach you how to do the magic ring, and anybody, you can do it. You can do the magic ring. So don't give up. You can do it. The next one is I don't cake my yarn. That's more of a lazy thing that I don't cake my yarn. I have a really nice winder. I got a nice winder so that my yarn little storage space doesn't always look like this. However, I don't got time. I don't got time to sit and cake my yarn. I just don't. I get bored. My ADHD is like, I got other things to do. But then when my yarn storage looks like this and I can't get a hold of anything and my yarn is all tangled, I'm like, you know what? I should really cake all my yarn. And then I pull some out and I start and I'm like, there are better things I could be doing with my time. So like I said, that's more of a lazy thing. And maybe if I had a really nice like wall with all my yarn that I was filming in front of. No, it's in a closet. So it's very easy. So like in my house, there's like this broom like storage closet. And so I use that for my yarn storage. We put the little cubbies in there. And so when it blows up, vomits yarn, I can just shut the door and it doesn't exist. Nope. That mess doesn't exist at all. And we won't talk about that at all. So a thing I get all the time is, oh, what are you knitting? Okay. A lot of people are like, it's not knitting. People are confused and they don't understand. My thing is, they're like, oh, you don't knit also? It's not the same thing? No, they're different. They're very, very different. And I've seen a lot of crafters, they do both. And I feel like if I was to try and learn how to knit, like I would be sitting here with my hook trying to purl one or whatever, and it's like that's not how that works. And so I just try and tell people when you need to understand that there is a difference. And a lot of people don't care. They're trying to strike up a conversation and they don't care what you're doing, really. And that's okay. That's okay. And usually I can tell when they're just trying to have a conversation, and I'll give them the basics, but like they're not really paying attention to you and they don't care, and that's okay. That's okay, because it's my thing, not theirs. But it's just like, no, they're different, and you need different parts of your brain because they're different. I mean, I'm doing all of this with one hook instead of two needles. And like, I get the basic concept of knitting, but I don't have any desire to knit. My grandma knit. She actually made amigurumis, and so when I started making the little things, everybody was like, oh, you're just like grandma, which is a big compliment for me. But then they don't understand why. Oh, it's not knitting? No, I don't knit. Oh, okay, like whatever. Oh, that's fine. But like they're different. Go away. Okay, so I don't know what number. I've messed up my numbers. So I don't know what number I'm on or how many I have anymore. I love working with cotton yarn. I should have brought something over here with cotton yarn. A lot of people only work. So this is Posh. And a lot of people only like working with the Chanels and this type of yarn. And like, this is great. And I like making these things. But my little characters are made with cotton yarn. And I love working with cotton yarn. So I use a 3.75 millimeter hook. I use the Clover Amour. So it's like orange. It's on the smaller side, but I have smaller ones for like fingerling yarn, and so you get smaller than that, and that's where it gets fiddly and like my hands start to hurt. But I don't have a problem with the cotton. I like the way it looks. I can give it a lot of detail and things like that with the cotton yarn. So I really like working with cotton yarn. And I mean, I've heard people almost be as upset about the cotton yarn as almost like acrylic, which acrylic's not bad either. Acrylic's not bad either. Some people don't have a budget for the Chanel yarn and the cotton yarn, and it's cheaper for them to buy the Pound of Love Canon. That's wrong, I feel like. But those are all personal opinions. Some people like to buy the really expensive hand-dyed yarn, and I don't have the budget for that. So I'm just going to my local Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and used to be Joann's, and now I go to like Premier and stuff like that. But it's all part of your budget. So, but yeah, I like the cotton yarn. No shade against the different types of yarn. You work with what you work with. If it looks great and feels great, because some acrylics do feel really, really good. Some can be softer than others. So I don't like to buy, if I'm working with acrylic yarn, so I do make like the scarves and stuff, and I use acrylic yarn out of that. But I make sure it feels on the softer side. So, alright, so I'll show you my project progress. So this is how the front of the Pop-Tart will look. And I didn't bring scissors in here, so it's going to stay like this for a minute. Put eyes and then the little speckles of the Pop-Tart. So I used to make a Pop-Tart that it went like this, and the eyes would sink into it, and this one turns out so much better. So I didn't bring scissors, so I'm just going to get my back, and I'm just going to start the back, because I did bring, so that the pink was in Posh, and this is in Parfait Chunky. This is a really good, I don't know what color it is, cream, something like that. So nope, I'm not making a magic ring. But that's why I chose this project, because it's easy for me to work with, because I don't have to count stitches. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a pickle while I'm talking to you guys, and because I gotta make pickles for my market coming up too, but I have to count and remember to do things, and it's not hard counting, but I can't talk to you guys and ramble while I'm counting. Okay, so let's stop rambling and get back to, on my list it says number 8, but I don't think that's right. So, number 8, I don't like felt eyes. I don't like putting felt on things when a pattern says, oh yeah, do that with felt. Hang on, 1, 2, 3. Sorry. When the pattern calls for me to put something with felt, or like a smile or something, I'm like, how can I embroider this or make this crochet it myself? Or I've tried the cute little felt eyes to make them, because I have a Cricut and stuff like that, but I can't get it to stick to my amigurumi. I can't get it to cut right. It always sticks to my pad, and more power to the people who cut and make and glue felt to their plushies. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. Me and felt are not friends, and I don't plan on ever giving it another try, because I can embroider the pieces, and I've gotten to a point where I feel like I can crochet certain pieces to make it look like what that should have been. Does that make sense? If not, that's okay. I ramble and I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about at all. I didn't. There we go. So number 9-ish, we'll call it ish. There was a big controversy a little while ago about the copyright stuff. I do cons, and so fan art is a big part of my thing. So I'm gonna continue to make the fan art, and I just probably won't post about it as much because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm still trying to grow all my channels and stuff like that, but you can't go to Comicon, can't go to GalaxyCon without fan art. I got PokeFest coming up, and so, I mean, that is a Pokemon fan convention. So there has to be Pokemon on the table. That being said, Comicons is where that fan art, that copyrighted material, the line gets blurred, because there would be no Comicon if there wasn't allowed to be fan art, right? That's the premise that I go. If they reach a point where they stop doing that, then I will stop doing the fan art and stick to dragons and Pop-Tarts and pickles and chickens and mushrooms. And that'll be okay when that day comes. And maybe there'll be a day where I'm too old to go to Comic-Con, or I don't know. Right now, I love doing Comic-Cons. If I could do conventions if I could do a convention every month, that would be like totally where I would be. I love it. Makes my little weirdo nerdy heart soar. Like, I love it. I don't cosplay at the convention, but mostly just because I'm working and I get really hot and uncomfortable, and behind the table I try and just be as comfortable as possible. But however, I do really enjoy seeing all the other people in their cosplay, and I kind of take note of if I see more than a certain type of cosplay. I'm like, oh, I might need to make that character next year. But I mean, it's a gamble like everything else, because somebody's gonna have this weird obscure character that nobody else has ever heard of, but it's their favorite. So I kind of just, I'm not picky, and I'm like pick and choose. Okay, that one I've heard of, so I'll make those characters and stuff like that. So, but back to the point of the hot take is I'm gonna continue, and a lot of people, especially after the big controversy a little while back about the Pokemon and stuff like that, a lot of people shut all their stuff down, and while I might not post that stuff as much, I'm still taking it, I'm still making it, and still taking it to con. And if the day comes and I get shut down, maybe we'll reevaluate. And I still feel like it's a necessity in my little convention world. And you might not see it, but it's there. It's there. Okay, and so the last one on my list, 10-ish. Social media is hard. Social media is hard. I've never been one to post on my personal page a lot. I have social media so I can follow family members and stuff like that don't live in the same place as I do. And so friends with coworkers and stuff like that I work with, that when we move, they move. I'm part of military life, so people move and people do stuff. I like to be able to see it. However, I don't post a lot I never posted a lot on my personal page. So to take my crochet business, when I started, got to a point where I wanted to start selling, I knew social media had to be part of it. And I knew I would have to grow and learn and know how to do all of this. And it's really hard. It's really, really, really hard. Even with doing just YouTube, I'm just putting myself out there. And hey, how you doing? I try and look at like other pages and what are they doing, and it's really hard not to, oh, that worked for them, so that has to work for me. And that's not how that works at all. People really like it when you're genuine, and for an introvert like me, thought I heard something, to be genuine to people is hard. I want to crawl into my hole and hide and not tell anybody where I am. You know what that mean? You know what I mean? And like then trying Instagram and TikTok and all these other things, and it's like trying to know what to post and what to say and the music to use and the graphics to, so my goal going forward for social media is just each video, each post is a little bit better. I'm going to learn something every single time, grow a little bit more each time, and eventually I'll get there. Eventually I'll be comfortable enough on this little platform that I can do more. Right now I'm at 71 followers, and that's a big number for me. I started from absolute zero on this page. I am at like a year and like 3, 4, this will be the 4th month into this year. Last year I was only posting every once in a while. Wasn't consistent at all. So my goal for this year was to be as consistent as possible. And I had planned it all out. I planned it all out. This week in January, we're going to do this type of video. And this is the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And I'm learning that I need to relinquish some of that control. And just, as I make the video, that's the next video that goes up. Instead of, and I'm trying to, so if you watched last week's video, you'll know that the Pop-Tarts are for the video that goes up last week. So I'm trying to catch up, so I'm not making a video because I usually film in my little room on Wednesdays, and it goes out the next Monday. And that's a really, really small time frame. So my goal going forward, I've learned, is to relinquish some of the control. And so I'm doing not next week's video right now, the next week's video, which is a big positive for me. I'm starting to feel more comfortable talking, and we're crocheting at the same time, which is even better. Showing more of my face and myself and my crazy, chaotic little life over here. Hopefully you guys will like when I start posting things about my markets and my cons and things like that. But back to, done with the rambling, back to where I started. Social media is hard, and it's okay if you're starting out and you're really small and you don't know where you're gonna go. Just keep making the videos. That's out of all the things that I've learned, because I tend to watch a lot of how to make your YouTube channel grow and blah, 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 blah. None of that means shit. It doesn't mean anything. You just have to keep going, keep trucking. If once a month is what works for you right now, until you can get the hang of it, then once a month is what's great for you. If you can manage once a week, I've seen some people that were posting short little videos to get themselves to grow every single day, and it's like, whoa, that's too much. Although in December I do want to try Vlogmas, which will be a lot for me, but some of those things like could be filmed ahead of time. You know what I mean? Just the video goes out every day. So I have one day where I make 3 videos, and that's what'll work for me. You just have to find the rhythm, and I'm starting to find my rhythm, because last year when I started, there was catastrophe in the family, and so I didn't get into I made one video, and then the next one was like 6 months later, I think. Maybe 3 to 6 months later, I don't know. But they weren't good. They weren't edited, and I was just putting something out there. This year, I made it a goal, because that's where my business needs to go. It needs to be, because I don't do the online orders, and I don't do the custom, so that's where it needs to go. But it's hard, and it's okay that it's hard, and we're still gonna do it, and we're still gonna truck along, and we're gonna be okay. But enough of that. That was my 10-ish. I feel like I messed up the numbers on my list, and that's very on par for me to just mess it all up. So 10-ish. Hot takes. If you have a hot take that I didn't mention, doesn't have to be crochet, any type of craft, put it in the comments. I want to hear about it. If you agree or disagree, it's okay to disagree with me. Put it in the comments. I want to hear about it. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye!